Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. You are watching Bottom Line KE right here on Lookup TV. I am Nancy Nalima and our sign language interpreter for today is Josephine Oko. Now, many are the times when elected leaders pass on and relatives, brothers, sisters, and the family generally contest for the very same positions. And some argue that it is because they are practicing what we call sympathy votes. They're asking for the sympathy votes. But at the same time, it is the voters themselves that cast at the ballot. Does this curtail democracy? That is the question we're asking you this day on Bottom Line KE, the politics of inheritance. With me on set, right next to me is MG Minor, who is the founder of Vitendo Nasera Party.
Yes.
And on the far end, the lady over there is Millicent Akech, founder of WADA Initiative. Welcome, lady and gentlemen, to the set.
Thank you very much. Thank you
Okay,
very much.
and let's have this conversation.
Sure.
So the politics of inheritance, heredity of power in specific families. What is the genesis of all this?
Let me put this clear, Nelima. The problem has always not been that there is no democracy, or rather there is the whole issue on inheritance. The problem is one, that it's the voters who fail. It's not the family who bring these members, or rather, it's not that the problem is the families. No. It's the voters who fail. Because funny thing, who elect these people? After they come forward, who elect them? We are the one. So the whole idea is not, there's no democracy, there's nothing. Hadi ile siku tutachanuka sisi wenyewe tukiwa voters. That's the only problem. And that's where this whole thing is getting into a mess. Yes.
Yes, Millicent.
Well, I will say the politics of inheritance in our country it's not something of the recent past. It is something that began post-independence. And for me, I want to believe it's the politicians' fault on this, because many politicians or the parties there within, they parade relatives of or surrogates of, demised politicians to come and inherit these positions. For instance, a long time ago, back, I can't remember which year exactly, but the then President Moi, when Musalia Mudavadi's dad died, he brought him into politics, and he was elected to replace his dad. That means these politicians want to cling to power, to domesticate power for themselves.
Okay,
Yes.
and I have read a piece that was on a local daily, and they say that there's heredity politics. It boils down to the African culture. That just the same way we used to inherit wives,
Yes.
in the same way we are doing the same
Doing the
thing
same
to
thing.
power. What are your thoughts?
This country is really not in the good position that we are supposed to be in terms of democracy. We're supposed to be far ahead, but there is a mindset with do I say Africans or do I say Kenyans, that anyone who is frog-marched to you and you're told this is a better leader, that's who you choose. But again, like I said, that is not supposed to be the case. It will come a time that everyone will open up their eyes and they will know. And we'll know better leaders, and we'll choose leaders for ourselves, not leaders who have been pushed to us. Because these are the same leaders who are failing us today. Tulimchagua miaka kadhaa iliyopita, tumeanza kupiga makelele sasa hivi. Makosa ni ya nani? Makosa si ni yetu. Yeah. So I think till the time we style up as voters, then that's when this problem will come to an end. Yes.
So, Millicent, if it is our culture, how do we break that?
Well, if you relate it to a culture of inheritance, I mean, coming from a community where women were inherited until recently, okay, maybe they're being inherited at this moment, but coming from such a culture, you know, they try to give an excuse that if your brother had a good woman and your brother dies, you want to keep this woman, which means you want to possess whatever comes with this woman, whether it's power or, I mean, being productive, or even the children. You want to keep this person. Same to politics. I mean, if these people are bringing in the inheritance culture into politics, it means, excuse me, it means they're trying to keep, and they don't want to let go of the power. I mean, politics brings power and many other things to say, but trying to cling to it will make them want a relative or somebody close to inherit that position. They don't want to let go.
Okay, and as it is right now, maybe then just before that, we're looking at our founding fathers.
Yes.
So there's Jomo Kenyatta, then after that we had President Moi, and we had many other leaders around that time, Jaramogi, Mudavadi Senior, and many others. And then we see now their children, their sons are those who are in different political leadership, influential positions of power. And what is happening even right now, we saw the later Yusuf Haji,
Yes,
and his son went in and opposed, and he's even been sworn in. So is it something that we did in the past, or is it something that we're still doing it? Are we going to stop?
It's like I said, Nelima, this is a mindset that we need to change. We need to style up. We really need to style up as a country. Because I mean, will we go on with the same madness? Because this is madness. Will we go on with the same things over and over? I mean, this 21st century, yeah? Look at countries, Scandinavian countries. Where are they? Look at their economies. Look at us. Look what we are doing. Reputation of those things. Where are we? We are stuck. We are stuck in every move we're making as a country. And so, like I said, this is something that needs to change. But who is there to change it? Who will change it? That's the big question. And that's the question Kenyans need to answer. I don't want to answer that.
Yes, Millicent.
Well, I think when giving an example of the Garissa Senate seat, you know, many times they give excuses that this inheritance are done to proceed with the legacy of the predecessor. But we find that many times the incumbent, I mean the person who comes in, does not continue with that. They disappear somewhere within, and you'll find them diverting into something else. So this inheritance thing, it has really never been a solution to our leadership issues, or even the community, the issues we face as a country, community at large. Or instead, they have, I think the inheritance have really curtailed the dictatorship, I'll say. Yes.
And the political parties endorse relatives, spouses, brothers, sisters of the deceased majorly. So is this a move we'd call selfish, and it continues to propagate the same?
It is selfish.
It is. Indeed, it's selfish. But again, if you look at it on a bigger picture, or on a different perspective, you also want a leader who is influential, right? So as a political party, would I give a nomination to someone I know that would bring the vote back home, or will I give someone who I think is better off? Definitely, I'll definitely look for that person who has an influence, regardless whether it's a relative of whoever it is. So it's all about, in a political party setup, it's all about what will you bring? Will you garner all those votes? If yes, why not give it the position?
Are you known
are you known? Now, for a good example, the Yusufaji family. It's well known. Would I know Yusufaji from the dad to all the sons? I mean, we all know them. So it's all about what will you bring on board.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, what I'll say, you see, the political parties in our country, mostly they are owned by, few influential, that bureaucracy, and that, let me use the word dynasty for a lack of a better word, that has been there for that long. So you see, it's like these people have strong influence into these political parties. And as Kenyans, we've given so much authority to these political parties that we don't even hold them to account. You know, whichever person they'll present to us, we'll have to accept. So these political parties, if at all they would have, maybe, I don't know much about the particular constitutions of political parties, but within their constitutions, what does it say about inheritance? What does it say about, bringing someone just for the sake of replacing someone? That locks out so many capable people who may not be famous at the moment, but given a chance of leadership, they can do so much for the country.
And that was going to be my next question, because there are so many other people who'd want to contest, but for even the Koinange family, we saw that 10 relatives actually wanted the position,
Yes.
and so they settled for the last born daughter. So already this was sort of a family affair, because if 10 family members are up for that position, that's excluding other members of the public who want to vie for the same position. So in this way, does this now curtail democracy?
It does. And now here the problem, who is the problem here? Is the political party. Because if the political party was so clear on how they want to conduct, let's say, those nominations, in fact they could be giving people a chance. You see, the same way we give people a chance for nomination, then from there we know you're the party flag bearer, on that ground. Let's say, for example, in what's the place again? Koinange's place. It's called what's the name of the constituency? Koinange was a member of parliament. What's the name of the
Mbiu Koinange?
Yes. What's the name of the
constituency?
Yes. That constituency, right? So if we give a chance to everyone, not just frog match one person, give a chance to everyone as a political party, do a nomination, then from there we will say we gave everyone a chance.
A fair chance.
Yes. But in this case, was everyone given a fair chance? And funny thing, it's all about political party. If you're not a member of, give an example, Jubilee, there's no one who will choose you in that region. It's a Jubilee region. So also we need to get away from that norm, or rather that mindset of because you're in a certain region, it's that political party. Because in a certain region, it's about a certain political party. Yes.
Nelima, there's so many capable leaders whom what they lack is the opportunity to showcase or practice their leadership. And right now we have so many upcoming young people who want to join politics, not for the sake of politics, but for the sake of change, wanting to change the current leadership that we have. But we cannot, because who'll give you the opportunity if you don't belong to these parties, or if you're not related to one of these influential people? And as we all know, in Kenya, if you come as an independent candidate, even Kenyans themselves don't even trust you. They don't want to trust you.
They want to know they come from somewhere that matters.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
They don't even trust you. They want to do I say, relate you, or they want to tie you to a party, you know, to test your ability, to believe in you. But if at all we would come to, a time where we trust a leader because of what we see, the potential we see in them, then that would be the best way for us.
And looking at Makueni senatorial position, we had Mutula Kilonzo Senior, and after he passed on, then Kathy Kilonzo was fronted. And then with the court issues, she was not a registered voter as it was discovered. Then the public said, let's move it to Mutula Kilonzo Jr. So this was the voters themselves demanding. They say that the only person who's going to fulfill their pleas and represent them and the legacy is going to be someone from the same family. So that's how we ended up having Mutula Kilonzo Jr. as senator for Makueni County. So the voters want this. And you see, it would not be democracy if it was imposed on them. But voters went on the ballot and they casted their votes and they voted for, if not Kathy, they were voting for Mutula Kilonzo Jr. So it's still democracy, but it's the voters who choose that.
It is, but in this case, it's very clear. It is Mwananchi who has decided, right? And they have decided from the perspective, they already know the history of the family. I mean, the predecessor, Mutula Senior, I mean, he has done good things for Makueni. He has represented Makueni very well. Okay? This is a guy who has also brought up his family in a certain kind of a way. So good background. So why should I not vote him if he was so good?
But they have people in Makueni.
They have, but look, this is now the people saying. Right? It's not that we are imposing, si ati familia imeagree na let's say Wiper kwamba huyu ndio tunataka, ni watu ndio. That's what we want. In that case, we have no issue. Okay? In that case, we have no issue.
So could it be that the voters themselves don't even know that's not what they're supposed to do, that they're supposed to be giving people equal opportunities?
Like I said, I don't want to say it's a fault of the people or they don't know what they were doing. But to me, as per my opinion, good leaders have a chance. Okay? And Mutula Kilonzo Jr. is a good leader. Okay? The dad was also a good leader. You get it? So for me, it's...
Yes, Millicent, I see a dying to open your mouth.
Well, you see, for Makueni, is one of those rare cases where we have inheritance for the sake of legacy.
Yes.
You see, because I mean the predecessor had a legacy, and we can see maybe the son doing something. The problem is in terms of the voter issue with choosing this kind of people. Our country's politics for a long time has been based on tribal politics. I mean, that is the issue here. Tribal politics made us have, even the political parties are based on tribal clusters. So, for instance, in the case of Makueni, let's remain in Makueni. I mean, by then they had that coalition that had, the whole of Makueni County, or even the Ukambani community, were linked to a particular party. What if there was someone in Makueni, an able leader, but with a different party? The people would not choose. People were choosing to keep the leadership within the party. You see, because in Kenya we've been tuned to having politics, being aligned to political parties that aligns to my tribe. You see, that is the challenge that is facing the electorates, the voters, I mean. So if someone is not within this political party, if at all they would have given the position to someone from a different political party, you see, they feel that the power would have gone not to them again.
Somewhere else.
Yes.
But also, I would ask,
Mm-hmm.
in the same case study of Makueni,
Mm-hmm.
what of Mutula Jr. did not buy on a Wiper party?
Mm-hmm.
Would he have been chosen? That's a question we don't.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we need to ask. What if he was in another party? Would he have been voted? That probably would have supported our case more, because he was chosen and he belongs to another political party. You will say, oh, it's leadership now they are looking at. It's not political party affiliation.
Yeah.
You get? But now we don't know that.
But
So I
still
so wish it was.
I feel they would have still chosen him for the sake of the legacy
daddy, yeah.
thing.
Of Mutula
You see?
Senior.
And I'm sure for his second term, he would have gone back to the party. You see, and we've seen this severally. I mean, someone would succeed as an independent or with a party that's not influential. But look at them when they go for the second term. They won't maintain this party. You'll see them now wanting the influential
The
party.
popular party.
Yes.
Okay. So does this mean that voters, as voters ourselves, we just believe in a minority few who are already in influential positions, that we don't think that Millicent could vie?
I think that has been a challenge for a long time. Kenyans, we have, maybe we don't want to look so hard for that leader. We just want, the easy to get ones, because the easy to get ones are in these influential parties anyway. So if we would really want that quality leadership, yes, we can find them within these parties. But if we could take our time, give somebody a chance, maybe we'll have a change.
What are your thoughts?
Like I said, Kenyans need to style up. We really need to style up.
We're getting there.
Yeah, we really need. And funny thing is that time is not on our side.
No.
Time is moving, man. Do you again need to style up after 2022? Again wait for 2027? Again, I mean, time is not on our side. So the thing is, and I will think, if I so wish we could have this civic education on democracy, I guess it will help. Yeah, it will.
And you mentioned 2022.
Yes.
So in 20 already by now we have seen different elected leaders who passed on.
Yes.
That their relatives and brothers, sisters, spouses even have been given positions,
Yes.
or rather have been elected
Yes.
in the political seats. So is this something we're likely to see even as we approach the elections and even after the elections of 2022?
Definitely. Definitely, let me tell you, those who have voted, those relatives and whoever who have been voted this time around because brothers and sisters have passed on, you'll see them getting voted again. Because now, they will be wiser. I mean, they'll already be in the game, so they know where to clean in. Yeah. Nitashikilia hapa sitaanguka, nitashikilia hapa. You'll see them, and believe me, you'll see majority of them will come back. Yes.
Yes, Millicent, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think what would really save us from this is when you see the current constitution, the particular posts such as the governor, with their deputies. If these other posts, okay, now that means creating positions, but if these other posts had, the deputy positions, we'll have, for instance, when a governor dies, the deputy picks up. You see, now there's no inheritance at that point, because now they did. Many people vote for the governor, none votes for the deputy. The deputy goes because of the governor. So when, in case of demise, the deputy ascends to governorship. If these other positions had the same, then inheritance
I feel like
politics
it will
To
cut down on
reduce
that.
all
Yes.
these-
Okay, and that's the big question we are asking you today. Is the heredity politics curtailing democracy in Kenya? We are taking a short break here on Bottom Line KE. Don't go too far. Thank you so much for staying with us. You are watching Bottom Line KE right here on Lookup TV, and today we are talking about the politics of inheritance, heredity politics that is common in Kenya. And with me on set is MJ Minor, who is the founder of Vitendo Nasera Party, and on the far end, the lady is Millicent Akech of WADA Initiative. And what we are asking you today is, does that politics of inheritance curtail democracy? Now, Teresa Bitutu, who is the widow of former Bonchari MP John Oyoka, has been floated as the candidate for the UDA party. And yet again, that is something that we have talked about.
Yes.
So the elections are coming in May, and she has already been fronted as the candidate for United Democratic Alliance Party, that is, yeah, of course, for the deputy president. And this is yet another scenario. It has not yet happened. She's just been endorsed. So we're waiting to see what voters are going to decide. Going back now to the situation in the country, hustlers versus dynasties. That is what the deputy president is riding on, hoping that people are tired of on and on again, different leaders passing on leadership to their sons, their daughters, brothers, sisters, just a family affair. So that is what he's hoping to break. Is it working?
Hoping to break. I mean, if he's hoping to break that, then why is he endorsing the Bitutu deceased wife? I mean, why is he endorsing the widow?
So that is in a way just continuing.
It's a
Exactly.
continuation kind of a thing.
And I think for Bitutu, that is, that's a region for ODM, and now having UDA come in, it's a testing ground for them. And knowing that Kenyans will like giving out sympathy votes, people will want to vote for this woman, right? So they had to, I mean, that was the way UDA had to come into Bitutu to test its ground. Because now we know that Kisii has been an ODM ground.
Stronghold.
But
Okay.
also, I'll love to ask this question. Probably it's not really more related into that, but let me ask: what if people do this, or rather, people front these relatives, the inheritance? It's all about relatives or brothers, because initially the predecessor had been chosen for 5 years. So they feel hii kiti ilikuwa tu ya hapa, acha tu amalize,
Bakia hapa.
acha tu amalize nini yake tano. I don't know. It's just a thought. What if that's what really transpires? We never know. Because at times you will wonder. But anyway, in the situation of UDA and Bitutu and trying to break the norm of the dynasty, this is how the vice president has chosen to run his things, because definitely he had to look for which word am I looking? There's a better word I'm looking for. He had to find a way on how to do his politics away from what the others are doing.
What has always been.
Yeah, what has always been. And so the hustler narrative has really
I don't see any difference.
you don't see any
No. The only difference is the hustler word. I mean,
That the person
everything is the
same.
same. Everything is the same.
Yeah.
The people in NASA are the same people. You see, if if Bitutu as a constituency would bring in an independent, the problem we have in Kenya, it takes a long time for a party to become famous. Depending on the people within it, depending on the people who are running it. So for a new party, for any candidate who's not within these two parties to have thrived in a place like Bitutu, it would take ages. If at all Kenyans we would come to a point where we can have, we've seen independent candidates succeeding in places where they were not expected. I remember there was a by-election in Nyanza, I think it's in Siaya, where we have, I think it's game or what? Some constituency in Siaya. We had someone from ODM that was being frog-marched to the people, but the people said no, they didn't choose him. Remember, with all the influence and with all the big wigs backing him up, people did not choose him. People chose leadership. So when I say we are getting there, we are getting there.
And would we say then, if political parties are made of influential people and their children and their brothers and their sisters
and friends
as well, then what about starting political parties that are specifically meant for the unpopular, the ones who are not influential? Is that why Vitendo Nasera Party is here?
Vitendo Nasera Party is here to change the game, because we are neither in dynasty game or the hustler game. We are here, we want to give everyone an equal opportunity. We represent, in Vitendo Nasera, want to represent the rich, the poor, anyone, everyone, those literate in the village, the very literate in town, everyone. And one thing about Vitendo Nasera, we want to give the youths a platform to showcase their leadership skills, a platform to also show they can.
So it's about a plan, like a manifesto.
It is indeed, it is. And I know probably won't be,
famous,
but we'll make sure we go there and become one of the change makers that we want in this country. Yes.
And again, the youth, as you had said, we make 70% of the Kenyan population.
Yes.
So then the youth have so much power that is often used to cause havoc and chaos during elections. Can't the youth just start a party and say, we are majority, we are not popular, but we can use our voices because we have the numbers as well? Yes, Millicent.
It would be a little hard, though it's possible. But then again, what makes it hard is the fact that, as much as we are youth, we have the population, but we differ in terms of interests. What you want is not what I want, and it's not what he wants as well. So even if we decide to come together and do something, maybe his interest is money. Money is what we don't have as youth, remember. So that means we have to cling those sides to the older, the influential people. And that means maybe that will bring a lot of conflict, because we'll not be independent as much as we should be, because we'll be dependent on them for a few things. And then even as youths, we are not as united as such. If we would come together, we have this competition within us because we've been broke for so long that if I get an opportunity
to make
I
money.
want to be better than Nelima.
I forget my intentions very fast. What I really intended to do, oh, come on, I'll say, well, it's only 5 years, I need this. So, well, we can come together, but it takes a lot to stay together.
Okay. And as a CEO of an initiative, of WADA initiative, then in your own capacity, you have influenced change because you work with the community.
Yeah, sure.
So potentially you could vie for political seats. Potentially, let's just assume that potentially you could vie for a political seat. But then now again, that would be hard for you, since
Well, sorry, I had to come in.
continue.
Well, I'll say at this moment I'm being swayed to go the political way, but mostly because the resources that come with such positions. I mean, the access that you have, you have better access compared to when you're not in the scene. When you're not in the scene, you have to really go and beg, literally, many times. But when you have, and it's good that we start from a civil society background, then you venture into politics, because now this one you're not going just as a politician who's going there to make noise and make money, but you're going there because, you've been working in the community. You know the plights of the community. You know what's needed. You know what's lacking, and you know what the community's potential is. That if you get an access to a position that can give you the resources when needed, that would be it.
And you obviously work with like-minded people.
Sure.
You feel like people who work directly with the community, like on a day-to-day basis, then those would be the right people to be in political offices.
I think those are the leaders we need. Those are the leaders we need, because these are the people who know what's, the daily plights, the daily issues, and they know everything about the community. They've been, not as an outsider from the politics, you see what your politician is doing, right? And you feel that it should be this. Politicians just feel that they need to come and donate something, and that's all. Maybe that's not the solution to a particular issue within the community. So having known, having been immersed within the community and working and creating impact, it is easier when you get such a position. You're good to go.
Okay.
You can do better.
Okay. So, and looking at the dynasties and the hustlers, and many Kenyans have expressed concern, how tired they are of leaders who've been in position of power ever since they were born. They've been hearing of the Kenyatta family, the Oginga family, Mudavadi, and the list just goes on and on.
It's still going on.
But given the by-elections that we've had, the trend is similar. So when does this change? When does the objectivity when it comes to voting, when does it begin? Yes, MJ.
I think this will take time, because ending is, it's not going to end soon. And reason being, this one I'll pose to you. If at all my family has been in politics, we have amassed a lot of resources, a lot of resources. Let me use resources, right? You really need to protect these resources, right? One of the reasons why these people are being pushed in every family, like, you have to be there, you have to be it's because of they need to protect these resources.
So that they have to cling to
Yes,
power.
it's like that. It has always been like that, and I don't think it's going to end anytime soon. Because at times I feel like they say, if I cling out of power, and then a nasty leader comes, or a good leader comes, start doing those funny investigations, and you end up, and I'll give a good example. And good example is, do you think if they're not in that position, they will still be
having all these restrictions.
You tell me.
That's why I've asked. Do you really think? I don't want to answer that.
Okay, yes, Millicent, your part.
Well, I think the objectivity will come in when the voter starts realizing that I need to choose or elect someone based on the impact that I've seen them make within the community, what they've been doing. You see, for a long time, our politics is based on your financial capability. The going for a position. If you're financially stable, you can go and get it, because definitely you'll go and, giving the handouts, and that may get you a way in. And whereas there's someone here who's really been working, let me say even in our agricultural communities, who's really been working with people, and you've been seeing their potential in leadership and how they've been, empowering people within the community. But since somebody will come from the US with money, this person definitely will even win nomination. And you see, in our country, once you pass the nomination, your politics ends.
Especially if it's a stronghold of a particular party.
Yes. So the objective will come in when people start realizing that much as this person is giving us this handout, how long is it going to last? With this person who's been empowering us in ways that can last into generations. So if we start electing leaders because of their leadership potential, because of their impact within us, that's when the objective will.
Okay. And so leadership, how exactly do we define leadership? Because there are leaders, when they come with a manifesto, then this is what they intend to do for the community, how they intend to represent the community in parliament and front their issues and whatnot. But then again, the record of these leaders when they're coming to ask for votes, isn't that what you're supposed to be considering the most?
You see, defining leadership when it comes to politics, it's quite tricky, because many of these politicians, Kenyans were used to defining leadership because, defining a leader simply because of the promises he makes to us. This is somebody who's not even been living within this community, and then he'll come and tell us he's going to front our issues to the parliament. Does he even know the issues? No, he might not even know that. All they always think about is we need water and electricity and school. That's not
there are those points that always at the back of everyone's mind.
So that's not, we may not, that might be not what we really need. Maybe we need something else. There are so many needs when you contextualize a community. In different contexts, different needs. But these people, they know we need electricity. Go to the rural areas right now. Everybody has electricity. Then you still come and tell us you'll share our issues where? We need
this is beyond even the manifesto. Because if a political leader comes and they say they want to be a member of parliament, then what they have done in whatever capacity, if they were a banker, if they were an economist, so should they be telling us this is what I did
this
as
is
a
what
banker?
I achieved.
So if I achieved as a banker, then I'll probably achieve as a member of parliament.
And something you're supposed to know, because if we can find out your past, find out her past, I have a better understanding of whom I'm putting there. But do we really do that as voters? Do we really do background checks?
Those are the kind of civic education processes that we really need at this moment. And it's not even achievement for yourself. Achievement for us. Achievement for the community. What have you done? Not, I have achieved this. For whom? What impact does that kind of achievement has made on the people,
the community?
Yes.
And another thing to add, we are Christian nation. We pray a lot. Christian nation, we believe in God. God is the one who gives leaders. leadership is a calling, Nelima. Leadership is not just because you have some money, now you think you can become a better leader. We have to pray to God to give us better leader. That's what happened ndio tumefika
But
sasa.
don't Christians in Kenya pray? They pray and they still vote.
And that's what I'm saying. We need to really let it be like a fasting kind of a thing, because for real, we really need good leaders, and it's only God who can give us good leaders. That is it.
Yes,
That's what I
and
think.
I agree completely. I agree in prayer. But as we pray, let's be educated in terms of civic engagement and leadership, because, I mean, so that we know what we want in a leader. You know, many people don't know what they
What
want.
they want.
Maybe they want even a face. Maybe they want a height or a name, you see. If we really could know what we really want from these leaders, then that would not be hard, you know. And thank God it's been hard for people in the recent past until now. Maybe this could be an eye-opener. But the only problem, you know, we are approaching elections. Now they're parading back into the villages with packages of food. I mean, to last you 1 week. Where have they been? I mean, we
It's
need
the
this.
same
We
cycle.
need this
The same
even without
cycle.
corona.
The same cycle.
We've always needed. People are hungry even without corona. But corona might have really facilitated and you know, made it worse. But we need food even without corona. So if we really could know the kind of leaders we want, you know, other than the names and the parties and the tokens, I mean the handouts we receive from them.
Okay,
It's
maybe
now on us.
one last question before
Yes.
before we conclude. The politics of inheritance.
Yes.
Could it potentially cause a dictatorship? Do we see a possibility of that? If we have people in the same family over and over and over, then they will be
I
more
mean,
inclined to.
it facilitates dictatorship, because, I mean, if a predecessor was a dictator, what makes me think that the successor is going to be democratic?
Good one.
You know, definitely, you know, this predecessor had his ways of governance, which satisfies their interests, and even as he demises or maybe retires, they would want to maintain the fact that the whatever they influence satisfies their interests. So the successor definitely will take over from the predecessor. That's very same system of government.
Okay.
You see, they don't come in with the new ideas. Otherwise, we would have been having very many examples of leaders who've done differently, having succeeded from relatives.
And even as we finish very briefly, there are leaders who have inherited power, so to speak, but they're leaders who are good at their work. So what can we say then about them? Are they just disadvantaged? Because now we're talking about politics of dynasty, which looks like this evil or negative way of leadership.
A good leader is a good leader. That is it. Regardless whether he was chosen out of inheritance politics or what, but has he done his job well? Now the bad cases that has put all this on a bad corner is because we have these leaders of inheritance who come and fail. That's the only problem. If all these leaders came into politics all through that inheritance and they are good leaders, no complaint. Would we be here saying how bad or...
Politics of inheritance.
Yes. In fact, we'll be supporting that. So it's all about who is this leader? Is it good leadership? Is it a good leader? Has he done what was expected of him?
So it's really about the record.
Yes.
Okay, and thank you so much for being part of this conversation, especially now that the elections are approaching. That it is important for us to understand what leaders we need to vote for come 2022.
Sure.
Thank you. And that is where we conclude Bottom Line KE for today. With me on set has been MJ Minor, the founder of the Tendo Nasera Party, and the lady Millicent Akech, who is the founder of WADA Initiative. I am Nancy Lima, and our sign language interpreter has been Josephine Oko. Thank you so much for watching.